We'll call to order the business meeting for Tuesday, July 26, 2022. We do have a quorum. 2 commissioners are present. And flag salute. Lee, would you lead us in the flag salute today, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. Tammy, could you give us Zoom guidelines, please?
Sure. Good morning. This meeting is streaming via Zoom and YouTube Live with the link on Facebook. For those meeting in person, please remember to turn on your mic and speak directly into the mic when talking. For those joining us via Zoom, please remember to mute your phone or device when you're not speaking. If you forget to mute your phone or device, we will mute you. You will hear a voice saying that you have been muted. And if you hear that voice, it is because we could hear your background noise. For questions during the meeting, please raise your hand. If you are not able to raise your hand, please wait until the commissioners ask for questions. And our next item on the agenda with everybody here is our employee second quarter milestones. We'll go ahead and go through those. Pardon me. Public comment. Do we have anybody signed up? We do. Thank you. Okay. All right. So we'll have 3 minutes for public comment and we have Johanna Jones.
Am I live? You can hear
Yes,
me?
you are.
Thank you. I wish to address the commissioners regarding the resolution 22-229 that was originally on the agenda for today. And after I began checking into it, was summarily removed on Monday. So it's about an approval for $450,000.09 under the Distress Counties grant to the White Pass Country Historical Museum for its Packwood Brewery building project. I am speaking to you before you make a vote on this to make the commissioners aware of some concerns and questions regarding this grant application. So I thought for the people that don't know, public facility means any facility that is owned or operated by a municipality or other governmental entity that is sited on land of a municipality or other government entity. This is a privately owned property. Owners are Tina Simmons, Jamie Massaros, and Megan Steele. And it also shows that they received Distress County funding from the 09 in 2020. Don't know how much the brewery received, but they received funding. That will have to be checked into by someone. This $450,000 grant application is being submitted by Janice Gross, the wife of Commissioner Lee Gross. Somewhat appears to be some kind of conflict of interest. Upon reading the grant application, I spoke personally to the White Pass Country Museum treasurer, Martha Garut, who informed me she is not aware of this project and has never heard of this project. She further stated this is not a project that the White Pass Country Museum has voted on and that the society president, Janice Gross, is the only one who would be able to answer any questions. We are here today discussing giving $450,000 to an organization whose financial officer doesn't even know about it. Ms. Garut also clarified that the museum does not own any interest in the Packwood Brewery business or its property. The guidelines are very clear on who may apply for grant funds from the 09 fund. Nowhere does it permit a nonprofit organization to apply, neither does it allow a private business to apply. Public facilities is stressed throughout the criteria and the application. And I realize that this has been made a public facility, but it is still privately owned. So there's a question there that needs to be answered. The basic rules for all grants are that an application is automatically excluded if the application is not completed in its entirety. Yet this grant has a block of unanswered questions. Of particular concern is the question, is this project a public facility that has an economic development purpose? It was left blank. And the grant was not signed. How has this grant even gotten to the docket? It is the fiduciary responsibility of the County Board of Commissioners to safeguard.
I'm sorry,
public
Ms.
funds.
Jones.
time is up. So if you want to just give us a brief summary to
Okay.
wrap up.
Well, it's pretty egregious. Clear the person who's applying doesn't have a clue what this grant is. Also, by making this private entity a public facility, they no longer have to pay state taxes, county taxes for property. You've made them a public facility. How is that even possible? Seriously.
Appreciate you coming forward today. Thank you. And if you have more material that you would like to submit, we can take that in.
I'm sure.
Okay. Anyone else for public comment? Not seeing any hands raised online. All right, now we'll proceed to employee recognition. Okay. We're starting with the sheriff's office. We have Amanda Jackson for 5 years. All right, and then we have Michelle Nordquist from the treasurer's office. Molly Hurt with community development. Diana Sherwood with facilities. You had to show up for date night. No, I Andy Coleman with Public Works. Apologies, this is for 15 years. For suggesting me the air conditioning. And John Link with Public Works, 15 years. Thank you. Thank you. Right, and now we have 20 years, Gabriel Frazee. All right, also with 20 years, Daniel Reardon. And Tiffany Reynolds, Sheriff's Office, 20 years. That's all right. We'll figure it out by the end of this. Thank you. All right. Terrace Nelson, Community Development, 20 years. Perfect answer. Right. And Alan Stoll, Sheriff's Office, 25 years. Right, and that concludes our awards presentation. Thank you.
Thank you all for your service to the county. Not much. Test. It's working.
Right, we'll go ahead and proceed with consent items.
Madam Chair, I move we approve one consent item and the approval of minutes for July 19th, 2022.
Second, Grace.
Morning, Commissioners. Grace Jimenez, Lewis County Auditor's Office, speaking to Resolution 22-221. This is our weekly approval of warrants and payroll for payment for the week of July 15th through the 21st. In the first section are the warrants issued on behalf of the special purpose districts, numbered 857-563 through 857-616. We also issued 79 regular county warrants for a total payment of $1,311,006. Any questions? Thank you.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution 22-221, approval of warrants and payroll, and also the approval of minutes from the July 19th, 2022 business meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0.
Madam Chair, I move we approve 7 deliberation items, resolutions 22-222 through 22-228.
Second. All right, guardrail bids.
Good morning, Commissioners. Josh Metcalf, Public Works Director. I'll speak to the next 3 resolutions, or the first 3. 22-222 is listing the bids received and the contractor selected for the 2022 countywide Safety and Guardrail Project. We received, 4 responsive bids. The apparent low bidder was Peterson Brothers at $154,335.34. This is underneath the engineer's estimate, which is $209,192.50. The county engineer has reviewed the bid package. Everything appears to be in place and complete. And our recommendation at this time is to award the project to Peterson Brothers for the 2022 construction season.
Any
Questions on that?
concerns? Thank you.
I'll speak to the resolution 22-223. This is approval of a local agency agreements and federal aid prospectus for Lewis County and Washington State Department of Transportation agreements for the railroad switch upgrades and the railroad track extension and road crossing closure projects. These 2 projects are funded through the National Highway and Freight Program. This is a federally funded program. We received 2 grants, one in the amount of $216,000 and one in the amount of $1.657 million for these 2 projects. This includes engineering and construction. The engineering permit is obligated beginning September 2022. October 2022, the switch construction funding is obligated. And then the construction funding for the track extension will be available in October of 2023 for the county to access. Any questions on those 2 agreements?
Now that should be helpful for alleviating rail congestion at that intersection. I know that's been an issue for RFA at least 20+ years. So
Yes, I think the switch itself at Blakesley Junction will be a huge upgrade that'll give some immediate relief. And then anything we can do beyond that will additional. The track project will add extensions to the 2nd and 3rd tracks between Reynolds and Floron. So that will give some additional storage space for trains when they're braking or building trains. So both projects will be are a good step in the right direction for that. And then resolution 22-224. This is approval of local agency agreement and the federal aid prospectus for the Gerard Creek Road Bank Stabilization Project. This project was declared an emergency earlier this year due to debris in the creek and the November and February storm events. We are starting to encounter some significant erosion up against the shoulder of the county road. So this project was identified and declared an emergency so that we could get in and do some stabilization work this summer and try to protect the integrity of that county road going forward. This is a FEMA project as well. So we will be reimbursed up to 86% of our cost for this project. Questions on that project?
Yeah, Josh, we have a road closure on this project, right?
Maybe temporary. This one will be primarily left open. The road itself, I'll be
Okay.
able to maintain access there.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Major Hanlon with Lewis County Public Health and Social Services to speak on Resolution 22-225. And this is an agreement between Lewis County Public Health and Social Services and Compass Career Solutions. This funding is through the State Developmental Disabilities Administration to provide services for persons with developmental disabilities who reside within Lewis County in the service areas of individual supported employment and community inclusion. The duration of this contract would be July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023, and it's in the amount of $95,000.
appreciate your work on that.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Martin, County Manager, speaking to Resolution 22-226. This is ratification of an employment contract with Jennifer Libby Jones for the 911 Communications Director position. So the contract's been executed and Jen is here with us. She started on July 18th. She comes to us with an extensive amount of knowledge and experience in not only 911 communications, but also radio systems. And so really excited for her to kind of get her feet on the ground here and start working on all the things around 911 communications. There's a lot going on there, but also going to be instrumental in the radio system work, which you have granted through the ARPA funding. So very excited about Jen being here.
Just a quick comment. I was very impressed with her knowledge of the systems and stuff that we had at yesterday's meeting. I thought she jumped on top of things rather quickly. So thank you.
Yeah, she seems to be absorbing very quickly. So we're glad to have her here. I'm glad to have her here for sure.
You are.
Good morning, Commissioners. Reva Lester here to speak to Resolution 22-227. This is a grant agreement with the town of PL for its improvement of access to water intake project. And this would award the town $400,000 toward that project.
Any questions on that?
Well, just a comment. This is to improve a roadway that goes to PL's water supply and water system. They have trouble getting access on the existing road, and so they asked for the funds to repair and fix that road and to do some work on their water system. A few years back, they had a major breakdown in their water system and were unable to really get up there and fix it right. So this hopefully will enable them to do the good fix on the whole thing.
Yeah, they currently don't have an actual road to it. So.
And then the next resolution, Resolution 22-228, is another 0.09 Distressed Counties grant. And this one is to the Port of Chehalis for its grain facility project. And this is in the amount of $200,000. And I believe Bill Teitzel is here from the port as well, if we have any questions on that one.
Good morning, everybody. Bill Teitzel, Port of Chehalis. Can you hear me okay?
A little closer.
Is that
There
a
you
little
go.
better?
Perfect.
All right. Bill Teitzel, Port of Chehalis. I'm the operations manager. And I just thought I would show up this morning, kind of go over kind of where we're at on the project and answer any questions you have. But essentially, we already began development over the years for the Southwest Washington Grain project by putting in some rail service, put a stretch of track into the property that's owned by the port. And this is to help the local farmers that are bringing in grain and barley to have a place for them right now. We're doing mobile operations for them to be able to load rail cars so they be shipped out to where their destination is. But obviously where we're working for, we have some legislative funding for us to get us started. And we've also applied for an economic development grant through the federal government for $3 million to help finish off what we call the phase one. And what we're asking, what we applied for with the Distressed Counties funding is just kind of we've got a lot of things that we'd like to get done prior to being awarded the EDA grant that was help get things going a little bit quicker. So obviously we're going to move into what we call phase one, where we're going to be putting in some infrastructure for the storage of 400 to 600 tons of grain and barley and make that easier for us to store it and get that shipped out on rail. So we've got a really good team that's working with us right now. We've got Nicole Miller from Freebird Projects and Mike Peroni from NABC. They've been great. NABC is part of the co-op. They'll be operating it. And this has just been a real fun project. And we really see we see a lot of agricultural taking advantage of it. And we expect to hope and like to see, obviously, to get a little bit more agriculture involved into, some specialty grain projects and have a place to be able to ship it. Because that seems to be the thing right now is a lot of the outfits that are taking barleys and grain want to take it by rail. They do not want to take it by truck.
Yeah, Bill, can you elaborate a little bit on what you
Pardon me?
told me earlier? Can you elaborate a little bit on what you told me earlier about temporary facility there?
Sure. Actually, right now, as we're speaking, we have a temporary grain elevator that's set up there. It's just kind of a mobile belt. And so we have trucks coming in from around the county and they're dropping off their product and we're loading up rail cars as we speak. So in the last Since last Thursday, we loaded 2 rail cars. They're on their 3rd one now, and we have 2 more to go, and we'll get those taken out and probably bring a few more in. So we've got the kind of the temporary thing going on, and there's something we're considering too, is this is going to be a transload facility. So it's not just about shipping grain out, but it's also about bringing product in. So we are looking at basically another belt that will take materials. For instance, like if dairymen want to bring in feed, to having a truck in, we could have it brought in by the rail car. And so we'd be able to offload from the rail into trucks so they'd be taken to their destination. So that's kind of something we're probably going to even do before we even get the final facility built.
Thank you.
Yep, I think part of the reason this multi-use facility came about was when the cannery shut down, our farmers were no longer able to have contracts for the peas and corn that they raised, and they had to find another, basically another crop that they could grow and could be utilized on this side of the mountains. So this is a solution to be able to help our farmers keep in business and keep our agriculture productive here in Lewis County.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on these resolutions? It's been moved and seconded to approve resolutions 22-222 through 22-228. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. We're now moving into a public hearing. We'll now call the hearing for ordinance 221. First, we will have a staff report, followed by a question and answer period. We will then close the question and answer period and open the hearing for formal testimony. Anyone wishing to testify, please sign the sign-in sheet at our lectern. You will have 3 minutes. Right. We'll now move to the staff report on ordinance 221.
Josh Metcalf, Public Works Director, will provide the staff report for this ordinance. This ordinance is fixing the maximum speed at which vehicles may be operated over certain roads in Lewis County, Washington, defining offenses and providing penalties for violation thereof. This particular request was the result of a petition initiated by residents on these 2 particular roads in East County, Baker Road and Smith Creek Road, which is a intersecting road to Baker. These are off of Highway 12 between Randall and Packwood. As a result of the petition submitted by the property owners along Baker, the county engineer completed an evaluation of both Baker and Smith Creek Road. The current speed on Baker Road is 50 miles per hour unposted, according to our current ordinance. Through the investigation, we found that the 85th percentile, which is what we use for evaluating speeds on roadways, was 32.9 miles per hour, and that sees an average of 22 vehicles a day. After looking at the history, there have never been any accidents reported on Baker Road, and based on the 85th percentile, the county engineer recommends a reduction of the speed on Baker Road and Smith Creek Road to 35 mile per hour posted speed limit. This is in accordance with the Manual of Uniform Traffic Devices and the industry standards for evaluating operating speeds, which is accepted by the Federal Highways Administration for this type of speed limit evaluation. And that is the end of the staff report for this ordinance.
Any questions? We'll now open the question and answer period, during which the public can ask questions. This is different from public testimony, which comes later. Now is the time to ask staff questions. And not seeing any hands raised online. We'll now close the question and answer period. So Director Metcalf, would you like your opening statements incorporated into the hearing?
Yes, Commissioner, thank you.
We'll now open the hearing for public testimony. We have 3 minutes for that. You may.
Thank you. very much. I'd still like to address a few other things.
I apologize. This hearing is directly about the speed limit change on
Ah.
these roads.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Right. And not seeing any hands raised online. We'll now close the hearing for public testimony.
Madam Chair, I move we approve ordinance 221 as presented.
Second, it's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance 221. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Okay, do we have any announcements? Peter?
Commissioners, thank you. I would like to bring your attention to Saturday on the
Peter,
30th.
Peter, would you state your name and stuff?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Peter Lamont, Lewis County Historical Society President. On July 30th, this next Saturday, we will be having a blueberry pancake breakfast at the Lewis County Historical Museum from 8 to 11. We'll be using Mossy Rock blueberries, and we'll have Mr. Teitzel that was just here, Tony Ketchum, Dennis Dawes, our primary cooks for this event. So come out, please, and support the museum. Also Chehalis Fest, all the businesses and vendors downtown. I think there's a car show involved in this as well. So we'll see you Saturday morning for a pancake. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, any other announcements, new business calendars?
Commissioners, just have a little bit of information I'd like to share on behalf of emergency management.
Okay.
Related to the weather this week. Staff sat on a local call with NOAA and National Weather Services this morning to get an update. They have adjusted the temperatures on what were previously predicted. They've increased early this week. They are predicting mid to high 90s, some areas close to 100 through Friday. So we'll be continuing to monitor that. Obviously, the heat is a concern for people and pets, but also potential for fire danger increase. Things will dry out very quickly with this weather and no humidity. So there are a number of cooling centers identified and open for this week. There's a list. We've placed it on the emergency management's website. It's also been shared through social media, Facebook, and Twitter as well. And they are located throughout the county, east and west. The libraries, senior centers, Salvation Army, and several of our local fire districts have offered for various times of the day, typically between 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. As cooling shelters. So we'll continue to monitor that. That information is available. I do have the locations. If you would like that information, I can share that with you. I have a copy of it, but that will also be updated on our website as well. So.
Say, could we get that on the front of the county webpage for this particular week? Thank you.
And also the news releases, the Chronicle and the outlets, their journal and the Chronicle.
Yes, we could definitely feel the change in the hot wind yesterday evening. Things are going to dry out very quickly.
I kind of feel it this morning when I was out of my car.
Hey. Anything for calendars? And press conference? All right.
I have something for the press. Driving Highway 12 and various county roads, I wish we could get a notice out to the press that campaign signs need to be removed from the right of way along the highways. They need to be back away from the 60-foot right of way on the county roads and the 120-foot right of way on the state highways. A lot of signs out there that are being placed illegally, and they need to be either removed or set back, whatever. So just put that out there. If we get a notice out in the press, that'd be great.
I know WASDOT did put out a notice, at least on Facebook.
actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you'd like us to reiterate that, we certainly can, Commissioner.
Please do.
Right.
Seeing no further business, I move we adjourn.
Second.